Tea time. Did you hear the story the man told about how he was apartment shopping in New York? He and his friend needed a 2-bedroom apartment, so they were looking on all the apartment sites. They eventually found themselves on Craigslist, and he saw a 2-bedroom apartment there in a neighborhood that he really liked. So he was like, let's check it out. When they reached out to the guy to schedule an appointment, he said, yeah, the apartment is still available. I need you to know that it's not my apartment. It's my mom. She owns it, but I just manage it. And, if you want to go look at it, you can. I don't need to be there. I'll leave the door unlocked. Go ahead and check it out. And they were like, that's weird, but okay. When they went to go check out the 2-bedroom, they're like, yeah, this is it. This is nice. We're going to like living here. So they text him back and say, we'd like to apply for the apartment. And he's like, don't worry about the application. Go ahead and move in. We'll deal with the finances later. And they were like, okay. So they moved in. They were feeling happy and excited at the beginning. Then all of a sudden, they start getting this creepy feeling. I feel like somebody's watching me. Me too. And they didn't feel comfortable. They felt like they had somebody over their shoulder all the time, but they couldn't explain it until certain weird things started happening. Like they had a key ring holder by their door where they would hang up their keys when they got home. But in the morning when they went to go get their keys back, the keys would be missing and placed on the table. And sometimes when they got home from work, all of a sudden, something that they placed in the living room was now in the bedroom. And they're like, this is weird. I don't really like this. And one day, the roommate went out of town, and the other roommate was home by himself. He's in the shower, showering up, enjoying taking care of himself. And all of a sudden, through the shower door, he hears the front door open. Now, this is the middle of the day when he's not usually home. The front door open, he hears steps coming down the hall and stop in front of the bathroom door. And he shouts out, who's there? Who's in my apartment? Get out of here. And the voice says, I came to fix a light. And he's like, I didn't report a light needing to be fixed. Get out of my apartment. And the guy's like, sorry, and walks out. When he gets out of the shower, he's like, what in the world is going on? Because my door was locked. And then he gets a call from the landlord saying, hey, I heard that there was a problem. I sent a guy over there to fix a light. I'm sorry, he got the wrong apartment and he came into yours by mistake. He's like, yeah, okay. But he didn't let it ride. He went to all his neighbors and asked, did anybody need a light fixed? And they were like, no, we didn't. None of us reported a light fixed. And he's like, what? So this man came into my apartment to fix a light, but the wrong apartment, but he had the right key? After that, they was like, you know what? No more. I don't feel like being in this weird situation. So they decide to move. And when they tell him we're going to leave, he's like, come on, please stay. You guys are great tenants. He was like, nah, I just need to go. And he's like, well, how about your roommate? Maybe he can stay. He can't afford no 2-bedroom apartment by himself. And he's like, what if I lower the rent so he can stay? And they were like, no, we're good. They move out, they move on, and they're just hanging out with their friends and telling them about all the weird stuff that happened at that apartment. And their friend, who's an internet sleuth, decides, let me do some research. What's this guy's name? And they're digging on the internet and looking at records, and they're like, wait a minute, this guy? And they're like, yeah, that's his name. And he's like, this guy owns a surveillance company. And not only that, the apartment used to be owned by his mother, but she died in the 90s. So this man had been pretending to be his mother and spying on them the entire time.